So the secretary has given his plan or outline of what they would like to see from the Biden administration. How that goes in hand with the plan that the UN might see in the region, how you're coordinating, especially right now with the meetings happening in the Security Council, most of them closed door, because that will bring China and Russia within the conversation.
So these are principles that we have outlined that we think every country ought to be able to support. Now, we're not blind to the fact that Russia has pursued a very different vision when it comes to Syria over the past 13 years. But we will outline these principles in all of our diplomatic engagements, both in the region and in our conversations with our colleagues on the Security Council and other colleagues at the United Nations in New York, as well as UN personnel who operate inside the region. And those will be conversations we'll continue to have over the coming days.
In terms of the situation in the region, is the United States worried that because of the diminition of Hezbollah, the situation that is happening in Syria now, the fall of Assad, Iran will feel more motivated to try to pursue their nuclear program and try to accelerate it?
So I can't speak to the judgments that the regime inside Iran will make. I can say that if I were them, I would look back at the course of action that they've pursued over the last decade plus of trying to support terrorism and further destabilize the region as a strategy that has failed. When you look at their support for proxy groups, they clearly had a strategy that they were pursuing to try and threaten the state of Israel from outside its borders, to launch repeated terrorist attacks against civilians inside Israel, and of course to launch terrorist attacks against other entities around the region. Israelis have not been the only recipients, of course, of terrorist attacks sponsored by the state of Iran. So I would hope that the government of Iran would look at the failed policy that they have pursued and choose the path of de-escalation and better relations with their neighbors, and not trying to continue to foment instability and support terrorism. I'm under no illusions that they're going to have a change of heart, but I would think that would be the wiser assessment. I can tell you that if they pursue a different nuclear policy, we have made clear that we will not allow the government of Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon.
Just a quick change, a question. The State Department issued a fact sheet on Monday regarding the accountability actions to counter global corruption and human rights abuses for Indonesia. So can you outline the steps that State Department is generally taking in response to human rights violators from Indonesia?
So I'd have to take that back to get you anything more specifically as it goes to Indonesia. I know that we detailed some of the actions in the statement that we put out. I can tell you that we have made clear around the world that the fight against corruption and the promotion of human rights is a top priority for the United States, and it will continue to be. But with respect to specific actions inside Indonesia, I'd have to get you a more detailed answer. Michelle.